Hi everyone, so welcome to my slightly delayed May strategy review, a little bit of an update as to what I learnt in May, and obviously when I learn stuff I want to try and share it with you, so hence the reason for doing this. So a few things that I've picked up on. First of all, thank you to new clients that came on board in May, so I'll get that one out of the way quickly. So Aqua Properties, Nashama, a few others out there, Azizi as well, so thanks very much for you guys deciding to come and work with me. And then moving on to really understanding, I got a really good understanding over the course of May of the value of my podcast. I've been producing the podcast since I think December of last year, so let's say we're 6 months or so in, and I've been interviewing various people, and the quality of those people has improved as time has gone by, but also the feedback and the engagement from people that are consuming the podcast has increased as well. Some of you will know, but my biggest guest so far was Cardone that came on the show. Obviously a huge social media star in the United States. He came to Dubai, picked up a lot of great stuff from him, and if you watch the podcast you'll see how many juicy snippets and clips and valuable pieces of advice that he came out with during that period. It really was an eye-opener, and it was great fun to be around as well. On top of that, Farhad Azizi came on the podcast as well. So if you don't know Farhad Azizi, he's the CEO of Azizi Developments, which is one of the bigger developers here in the UAE, son of a billionaire family, a multi-billionaire family. But it was really great learning from him how, as a young guy taking over the business from his dad, his dad's obviously been enormously successful, but he's taken over, but he sees business differently. And they had a little bit of a conflict, I suppose, at the beginning, because dad wanted it to be done his way, and now it's being done Farhad's way, but he won over that conflict, and he's growing that business from that perspective. Moving forward, again, back to the podcast aspect here. Getting a sponsor for the podcast wasn't something I was too focused on in the beginning, but now we've just secured a podcast sponsor, which the information will be released pretty soon. And by getting a sponsor in for your podcast, the advantages for the sponsor, so just so that you can think about this, is that the content from the podcast then can be shared on their channels. So they have content created for them from the podcast, which, as you know, will be video and audio. That gives them an opportunity then to share that. And if they're sponsoring it, then it is brand awareness and brand recognition. But also that sponsor, in my case, brings people here to the Middle East, speakers and various events that they run. And I'll have the opportunity then to interview those very, really awesome guests, actually, over the course of the 6 months that are coming up. And those guests are valuable to me because I get to meet more people, share great information with you, share great insights and great interviews with you guys. But also that sponsor is getting the benefit of using that content themselves. So that was really interesting to learn. Also, I recently, just a couple of days ago, I did a Q&A. Now, doing a Q&A is nothing unusual about that, but I wanted to try and give some value back. Now, what I learned, though, was really interesting, is I did 2 Instagram story posts, just 2, saying, I'm doing a Q&A on this date and this time. If you're interested in coming along, let me know. It was as simple as that. Maybe some of you saw those posts. Those 2 Instagram posts just a few days ahead of the Q&A enabled me to get 50, 60 people that said they wanted to come and attend the Q&A. From that, I then got 25 people that came to the Q&A and wanted to learn. Now that cost me as a business nothing. 2 Instagram story posts, and I know a lot of you run Facebook ads and Instagram ads and even LinkedIn ads to try and draw audiences to you so that you can generate opportunity. Now for me, this was more of an awareness strategy than anything else. I wasn't trying to sell anything, I wasn't trying to market anything, I was just trying to genuinely, through the holy holiday of Eid, just trying to add some value back really to some people. But to see that you can get 25 people turn up, want to come and listen to you for a couple of hours, learn about what you know so that they can implement it in their business, was a great experience, a great experiment, and great evidence that if you do build your social media following, it doesn't have to be huge, but with a really engaged audience, the people that you want to talk to that are interested in hearing what you've got to say, then you can bring those people in, create more value for them. And let's not be daft about this. At the end of the day, hopefully those people want to do some business business with me and my organization in the future. And I don't think I did anything bad or harm myself in any way by doing that. So again, it just comes back to a couple of things. You know, I say to everybody, you need a podcast, and people go, yeah, and they never get round to it. I got round to it 6 months ago, and look at where I am right now with it in terms of the social media and building your audience, building your following, building your engagement, and concentrating on that rather than shying away from it. It then gives you a position of power. You become the expert in your field, and you can share that information with people. So great insights for me over the course of May. Hopefully this information is valuable for you. I know for a lot of you, you hear me talk about some of these things generically from time to time, but really it's time for you to take some action. You know, I took action, and look what I've got out of it. You can have the same results that I got. It's very simple, really. Just apply what I'm teaching and pick up on these strategy reviews, and hopefully they're valuable to you. Hopefully this has been valuable to you right now, and I'll catch up again with you soon.